Alright, I think about 90% of painting is not painting. I think about 90% of it is preparation. It's taking a long time to get everything ready to spray. I guess spraying, maybe you have to take a few extra precautions in covering things up, but here's an update. So started back in the back bedroom, and I've rolled the primer on. I sanded the walls, I wiped them down with paint thinner, and rolled a coat of sticks on the primer, and then I've covered the windows with, this is actually some tablecloth, plastic tablecloth. It's white so it can let some light in. That one's just a clear piece of plastic I had, and got the tablecloth over here. And so now I have on the rest of the trailer taken everything off, every latch and closure and handle and everything, shelves, these upper shelves out of this closet, make it easier to paint in there. I'm going to also come through here and roll on the primer on everything, so I still have a few things to cover up, like the breaker box there, and cover the front of the refrigerator, things like that. But I'm getting close. Thankfully this air conditioner works great. It feels, it's blowing air that's nice and cool, so that's a good thing. It's in the 80s today, so it's pretty warm outside. I've just finished vacuuming with a shop vac every little nook and cranny here, so I'm getting ready to go over all the surfaces with paint thinner. And see, I've taken these light fixtures loose and wrapped them up in plastic so I can paint around those, and then I'll just put those back. I didn't want to cut the wires, so I'll just put them like that. So that's where I am. Hopefully next time you'll see a lot of primer, maybe primer on everything, and I'll be getting closer to being able to actually start spraying the paint in here. Alright, here's a interior painting update, and the update is I'm really tired of painting, but what I've gotten done so far is I've gotten the interior primed with Sticks primer, and I'm going to be getting ready pretty soon to start spraying. I've got the windows covered in the back bedroom. Still have to cover some things like the refrigerator and the little curtain separator there. This vent hood, need to do something with that. But pretty soon I will be ready to start spraying. So we've got a lot more videos to come, got a lot more painting to do. If you'd like to follow our progress, please do so by subscribing, by clicking the wheel in the lower left hand corner, and you can keep up with our progress on this 1973 Holiday Rambler. I think I said earlier that 90%, it feels like 90% of painting is not painting, but preparation, and still feel that way. And I think I've just about got to the end of the not painting part, so getting ready to start painting with the actual paint. I've gotten everything inside primed, and that took a while, and I did that with the roller because the primer wouldn't spray as well as I would like it to. So I rolled the Sticks primer on everything. But then after that I had to mask everything else because I'm going to be spraying. So I masked the windows, and what I tried to do was I tried to get the tape that's holding this plastic, I tried to get it as close to the edge as possible so that the window trim would cover up this line. But if I didn't get that just right, I'll just have to brush that on, and that should be fine. But so I've done the windows, all of the outlet covers, the outlets. Took the fan, the exhaust fan down, got the wires covered up. I had taken the countertop and the sink out, so I had to cover up the countertop, these drawers and doors. I cut cardboard to fit in there so that it wouldn't blow back inside the drawer area or get the rails sticky with paint. I taped up the refrigerator with newspaper. Thought about taking it out, but it's kind of a pain to get that big refrigerator out of there, so I just put newspaper and had it go pretty good ways back in there, so I don't think that paint will travel back in there too far. Got these light fixtures, these 12-volt light fixtures, taken off and just hanging by the wire. Didn't want to cut the wires, so I just hung them there and covered them up with plastic. One thing that I was not able to get out, and I thought about taking it out completely and not putting it back in, but this radio, kind of like to keep the old radio. It's kind of cool. It works. So I just wasn't able to get it loose from the where it mounts here, so I will probably get a bag and put that in there, so I won't get paint on that, and I can move it back and forth across here from one side to the other, so that don't have to spray on it. I think what I'm going to do is start in the back though, and do this room first. I got the door covered up. I just opened the door and put plastic on it and taped it all around the edges, so that when I closed it, it covered up everything except, just right here. So I'll be able to spray this all this area. I'll get paint on the floor, which won't matter. So I think I'm just about ready to start painting. I'm gonna turn on this exhaust fan and leave the front door open so that I'll get some airflow through here. I'll also wear a mask. I probably won't even wear my glasses. Just don't want to get any paint specks on my glasses. Not planning on doing anything to the bathroom yet. Still gonna that'll be a phase 2 project, so I'll need to cover this door with plastic probably. But that's it. I'm just about ready to get started painting. I think I'm going to try putting this camera on the tripod and maybe getting some shots of how the paint's going on. Don't want to get paint on here, but I think I can do that without getting paint on the camera or anything, so I'm going to give that a shot and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so as you can see with the sprayer, it doesn't go very fast. It's a fairly slow pace that you have to use with the sprayer. It's not anything like what you see on TV where they're spraying a house. They have the big equipment. I think I referred to this earlier as airless sprayer, and I don't think that's the right term. It's low pressure, high volume, I think is what it's called. I like the way it works. It takes a little bit of playing with it to get the right settings. There's a volume knob that lets you adjust how much paint's coming through, and you do that based on the type of paint. So I think with this paint it's at the highest setting, and then there's the amount of air that comes through, that also is a setting. I think that's like at a medium high is what's recommended. So from this angle you can kind of see the texture a little bit. It's not a perfectly smooth texture, but I like it. It's probably something that you might get equivalent with a roller, but I think it's going to go pretty quickly, even though the pace is going to be slow as far as how fast you can move the sprayer. I think since I have everything all taped and covered and all that, I think I'll be able to do, go pretty quickly. This is one coat, and it looks like it's covered really well. I'll have to see how it looks when it dries. I'll probably put a second coat on, but anyway, that's the way it looks at this point. So we'll continue on and see how it works. Well, I've now got 2 coats on all of the interior, and the first coat probably took me 6 or 7 hours. I worked on it all day one Saturday, and I painted the inside of all the cabinets. Got a good coat on inside there, inside all these closets right here. So that took a little extra time. When I went back and did the second coat, I didn't do the insides of the closets and the cabinets. Those won't be seen very much, and I got a decent coat on there the first time. So here's what it looks like with all of it done with 2 coats. There may be a few places I need to go back and do a little touch up. I know that when I take the plastic off the windows, that I'll probably have to paint around the edge of those where the tape is. I tried to get the tape as close to the inside as I could, so that the window frame surround that goes on there will cover that line, but I'm not sure that I did in all cases, so I'll probably have to go around that, probably touch that up around the windows. But I think it turned out pretty good. So the big question is, would I recommend the sprayer? I think so, if you're willing to tape everything, cover everything, take sinks, countertops, cover the refrigerator, and take all the knobs off and everything. Then yeah, I think once you do all that, it goes fairly quickly, especially if you're going to be spraying or painting the insides of cabinets. I'm sure that was much quicker with the sprayer than it would have been trying to brush or roll the insides of those. So I think I would do it again. I like the texture. It came out pretty good. It's got just a little bit of a texture to it, which I think it looks pretty nice. So here's the door that I made to go up on the top half of this little corner cabinet. I do need to paint it again on each side, put a second coat on it, and I've got a few other things to paint like this table with the leaves that folds up and the leaves that go in it. I need to paint that. A little bit of shelving and things, but overall I think most of the painting, the inside painting, is done. We've got a lot more videos to come on the restoration of this 1973 Holiday Rambler. So if you'd like to subscribe, click on the wheel in the lower left hand corner so you can follow our progress. I think Kitty's going to subscribe.